people don't realize, like, Breeders' Hacks, it really started from the mud. Like, we were living in a trailer. What's going on, Bully fam? It's your boy, the educator, the scientist, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls, and
me.
So,
I have no coffee in me, so there's no enthusiasm.
So we're on our way. We're actually getting ready. So today's my mentor's birthday. So, you know, I think today will be a cool day. We're gonna bring him some goodies, talk some dogs, as well as, I mean, hey, he's the one that taught me a lot of stuff that helped get Breeders' Hacks going. So I think it's only right maybe we talk about how Breeders' Hacks got started and, you know, how it originated. So stay tuned. I don't think you're gonna want to miss this episode. All right, so say good morning, guys. Y'all are in the vlog. Papito, say hi. Cheese. So we're about to head out. My sister's gonna watch my son just because I don't want to bring him there. And so real quick, I'll take care of the dogs. Real quick, you want to just handle the rest of the orders? Yeah. All right, perfect. So let me go handle the dogs real quick, and we'll be right back because we gotta get going. The dogs are done. What orders are we dropping off?
All these. UPS.
Okay.
Post office these. Make sure your orders go out even with all the chaos.
Yeah, even with all the chaos, we're making sure your orders go out. Dogs are, you know, taken care of. I don't have any. I don't think pulling up today, so.
Nope.
All right, perfect. So let's get going. All right.
Make sure to check those tracking numbers. All orders are going out.
All right, guys. So we're on our way now to go up to Sing Sing, the facility, go visit my mentor. It's his birthday, so we're gonna go ahead and celebrate with him. It's not the ideal place to be at, you know, for his birthday, but
we will be celebrating one way or another.
Yeah, so we're gonna be celebrating one way or another.
They're not letting me bring in a balloon garland, but we're making it happen.
Yep. So I always look forward to these trips because, like, getting to walk down memory lane and talk about how we started, and he doesn't look at me like Breeders' Hacks and Double Muscle Line Bulls. Like he still looks to me as that young kid that came to him and wanted to get into dog breeding and so on and so forth, and just like yeah, the conversations that we get to have, like he's seen pictures of how much my son's been growing, right? And so on and so
he
forth.
Can't get over that.
So yeah, so it's just fun. It's like, you know, it's seeing family, it's visiting family. So we're on our way there now. We're gonna go ahead and poke our heads in, visit them for a little bit. Obviously we can't bring cameras in, but I'll tap in with you guys right after. All right, guys? All right, guys, so we're on our way back home now, right?
So unfortunately, it's a little bittersweet.
Definitely bittersweet, you know. It's great when we get to see him. Like I said, it's family, but I have confidence that justice will
prevail.
It'll prevail, you know, and things will work out. So there's a whole story. Maybe I'll do an episode on what happened with my mentor and stuff like that.
But the beautiful thing was that the surprise was a success. We definitely had to celebrate his birthday.
Exactly.
One way or another, we wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't miss it for the world. And yeah, like I said, maybe we'll do an episode one day talking about what happened. Would you guys like to see him in an episode? I mean, drop a comment down below and let us know. But anyway, so it just had me thinking, had me strolling down memory lane.
You know what it is? When we go to see him, he doesn't look at Angel like Mr. Breeders' Hacks, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls. He looks at him like that young kid that had a crazy dream.
Yeah.
And hey, look at where Angel is now.
That's the cool part about it. Yeah, he looks at me as like, you know, he doesn't even really realize like how big Breeders' Hacks and stuff has gotten. So it's like, to him, I just look like this. To him, I'm still this young kid that just had a crazy dream of becoming a world-renowned breeder.
So it's a beautiful thing. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, so shout out to you guys. But anyway, so just had me thinking about like
when we first started
how Breeders' Hacks all first started, right? So I did an episode talking about how I got into the bully game, and little bits and pieces of my mentor and so on and so forth, but I never really talked about like how Breeders' Hacks started, because Breeders' Hacks is a thing of its own. It's its own thing, right?
Its own identity.
So maybe we can share the story of how Breeders' Hacks got started. And then fast forward to now, where we have our own home, our dogs have plenty of space, or their own yard, our kids, so on and so forth. So like, people don't realize, like, the way Breeders' Hacks kind of started was, obviously, when I first was really taking the dog serious, actually, let's take them even further back, right? So the first thing was, remember when I had Prince, right? He was a dog that I had gotten, and we had gotten together when he was about 4 months old. And I remind you guys, this is probably over what?
10 years ago.
This is, exactly 10 years ago?
10 years ago, yep.
So this was 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, we decided we want to live together. I have my first stud dog, and we're just trying to figure out how to make it work. And literally, like, we wanted to live with family, but prime example is, like, your family wouldn't allow. My parents wouldn't allow another dog into the house. I had my own Pomeranian. So for me, I was like, I'm not gonna live anywhere that I can't live with my dog. So that's when we had gotten an apartment, right? So we had gotten a little apartment, nothing too crazy, because we both said we want to live together, we want to make this happen, and we want to make sure our first stud was living comfortably. Exactly. So then, fast forward, we lived there for, I think, like about a year. We get another dog, stuff like that. We start trying to do our breeding stuff, and then what ended up happening was so before we got the second dog, we actually, crazy idea, we ended up buying a trailer. So yeah, so in understanding and knowing that in order to be able to really seriously be able to breed dogs, we knew that we needed to have our own home. So the goal was continuously to be like, how can we get our own home so that then we can have as many dogs as we want, we can have the space, we can accommodate for them, we can build stuff and not have to worry about landlords and all this kind of stuff. So I knew deep down inside, I was like, I gotta find a way for us to be able to get our own home. So we did the craziest idea. We bought a trailer. We sacrificed everything you can think of. Like I said, people do not realize, like, Breeders' Hacks, all this stuff, like the dog breeding, I lived out of a trailer, like frozen water and all. We had to go to the gym and shower. There was times we had no hot water. There was times it was freezing. We were using electric blankets, all that stuff. But we had a vision and a dream that this one day will pan out and equate to something. And we just held on to that. And fast forward to look at, where we at now. Like I said, we lived in a trailer for literally, how many years was it? About 2.5. We had a 5-year plan. So we had a 5-year plan, but we condensed it to 2 years because we were just like, this trailer thing. So like I said, so just to backtrack, we were living in that apartment. Then we got a trailer because we were like, the rent and everything is so cheap that we could easily save our money, and we could slowly pay off this trailer. We'll actually own it as well. We can sell it and take all the money and purchase our home. Yeah. And we took what was supposed to be done in 5 years and we did it in 2. And listen, the sacrifice, the tears, the cold nights, everything, it was worth it. It was the best. Let me see if I can fix this. It was the best feeling in the world to be able to move into our own home. Like, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I remember that day when we finally closed and we actually went to our house, to our home. I remember we brought our dogs. The moment we opened that doorknob, it was just instant tears because it was one of those things where the sacrifice was all worth it, especially being able to
bring our dogs and seeing how happy they really were.
Yeah.
They had all the space that they could use, all they wanted.
And that was the thing too. Like we were all like us with the dogs. Like I didn't have as many dogs as I had for now, but we were all a little like kind of crammed up in the trailer. You know, we'd sleep on the bed. It would be cold. We'd all be sharing, you know, the electric blanket. Like it was really like we were roughing it. You know what I'm saying? We were really roughing it, and we were just like, you know what, like it's gonna pay off. We just kept telling ourselves it's gonna pay off. It has to work out. There is no plan B. Like this, we will make sure this works out. And even before we moved in, I remember, so there was one house before the house we moved in that we were supposed to get. And there was like squatters inside the house. There were squatters inside the house. So it was people who wouldn't leave the house that we were trying to buy.
We were in contract for about a year.
Yes.
Holding on to it for a year.
So for a whole year, we're waiting on this house. We thinking it's our dream house. This is the house we want, so on and so forth. And sure enough,
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. And actually, I remember living in that trailer, and I remember telling you, when we were driving down this one road, right? There's this one road. We were driving down this one road, and I point at the houses, and I say, I always wanted a house like that particular house. And I always liked, and it was a Cape style of house. And I liked it because of the fact that I had a balcony over the garage. You could look into the back of the yard, see your entire backyard. I just pictured having that for me, my wife, our dogs. We didn't have a son at the time.
For just our family, future family.
Yeah, future family. And
little literally to us.
And I know this sounds uncanny, but I think it was the same exact house that I pointed at. I know for a fact it was on the street, but I think it was the same house, and that was a few years before we got the house we have now. So obviously we did go into contract for a year for that one house.
We held
didn't work out, and it's just a prime example of when you try to force things, it just didn't work out.
Listen,
it just didn't work out.
God's grace, it was not meant to be, and there was a reason why.
Yeah. The house that we have now was literally more than double the amount of rooms that the last house that it was. So it winded up just working out. It's a much better house. It was the house that we wanted originally. So it's the house that, yet again, I always envisioned us having. So
it's one of those things where we only say this just because of the fact of it's like, don't try to force something that isn't meant to be, because if it's not, there's going to be a reason why it's hard to keep.
You don't know why something's not happening for a certain reason, and it may be because another blessing, like I'll just say this, like the first house, maybe it wasn't meant for us to have, because the second house is the house that we were really designed and meant to have. And like I said, it was double the size, bigger yard, all that stuff. So I definitely believe that to a degree.
Absolutely.
And then fast forward to, so then I'm in the house. We're in the house, right? And
it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us and our dogs. And obviously, once we got the house, then we got a lot more dogs. But then, you know, unfortunately, what happens with my mentor? You know, he becomes incarcerated, right? This is where Breeders' Hacks starts to develop, right? So
this was fast forward about 3 years.
Something like that, a couple years in. So my mentor gets, and I'm breeding and I'm doing my thing and I'm loving it, right? My mentor then gets incarcerated. So when he got incarcerated, it really kind of hit us, you know? It hit everybody. Yeah, it hit everybody. It really kind of hit us.
Because when we tell you he's a part of the family, he is a part of our family.
So I'm reflecting and I'm just like, something just hit me. I don't know what it was. I think like, and I'm not even gonna lie, I was watching some videos of like that guy, the breeder on YouTube, like Love My Pups, and I'm watching his videos and I'm just like, you know, I could do something like this. My mentor gave me so much information and he gave it to me for free. So, you know what? in honor of him, I'm gonna share this with the world. All the information and free game that he gave me when it came to dog breeding, I'm gonna share it with the world. And not only that, but you know what? I'm gonna try to grow like an online business where I can make money, right? And so when he gets out, he has an opportunity to work with me on this business, be a partner in this business. So that's the best way that I can pay homage to someone who was willing. I mean, he was. You remember when I was drawing blood on Mercy for the first time? Like literally, like he was teaching me. He was teaching me all these things for free. He was showing me. He took the time and was like, "Here, this is how we draw blood on dogs, and do this and do that."
Went above and beyond to educate us.
Extremely like loving. He was tough as far as. Like he would show tough love, like he would be strict with, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. He'd be very quick to
correct us.
To correct us if we were doing something wrong. But it was all about the love for the dogs and making sure they had the best quality of life, making sure that things were being done correctly, properly. And like I said, I think the guy was like, he's like a surgeon. Like he was very into the genetics and reproduction and the science behind dog breeding. It wasn't just about putting two nice dogs together. It was a science behind that. And even when we were talking just now, we were all laughing because everyone's telling, like we were all talking about, with the dog breeding, maybe should do this or should do that. And it's just like a light. You see a light in the person's smile, in his smile, in my smile, when we start talking about breeding dogs and combinations and stuff like that. And my wife is just like, more work.
Not even. It felt like it was a regular day how it used to be.
Yeah.
So it was nostalgic.
So, like I said, just back to the story, right? So, I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing this guy on YouTube. He's sharing all this information. I have different perspectives. I felt like I have some good information that I could share. So, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And it's gonna be in honor of him. And when he gets out, he will be set based off of the information, because he was willing to invest his energy and time into me. I'm gonna invest that time and energy wisely and give him a return on that. And that's where Breeders Hacks was born. And literally in the beginning, my video sucked. Anything.
If you would have asked us 10 years ago if Angel would have been behind a camera, we all would have laughed and just continued our day. So
go back and watch some of the old videos and you will see I was so uptight, I was so stiff, like I was so uncomfortable.
There was no sazon, there was nothing there.
So I tell everyone, like, if you want to get behind the camera and do something, do it, because you'll just naturally get better over time. But anyway, so we start doing the videos. Next thing we know,
people are contacting us for products.
They're contacting us for products. So I'm like, you know what? Like, if people keep asking what we use for our dogs, and I know that I'm using the best stuff for my dogs, that's what we need to sell. And that's what became the online store, breedershacks.com. And we sell all the products that we use and that we believe in, that have a proven track record. And like I said, this is a business that has been growing at a humongous rate, like at a crazy rate. It's something now that I do it full time. My wife does this full time, and we get to be home with our son. Our son was born. Unfortunately, my mentor never got to meet him in person, but they will meet one day. And our lives have been revolving around dog breeding, and it's amazing. And the amount of people that we've met, the friends that we have, you guys are our friends. The world, everyone that we come in contact with becomes our extended dog breeding family, and I love it. I love every second of it. And I just can't wait for when he gets out, because this all took place after he had gotten incarcerated. So when he gets out, I can't wait to show him. I can't wait for you guys to meet him. I can't wait for him to meet you guys and see what we've been working on and what we've been building while he's been away. So,
because he laid the foundation for us
yeah.
to really, really get into the dog game, and also open up the books that we read and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, this is really interesting.
I know it's because of him that is what's helped spark that interest in not just dog breeding, not just putting two dogs together, but the science, the education behind all this. So that's what started. That was the spark that started Breeders' Hacks. And fast forward to now, guys. So, I mean, teaching courses all over the country, doing videos, reaching millions. The list goes on. So I just say this to any breeder. You know, if you're thinking about doing something that may impact the world positively, you know, if you have something to say, grab that camera, grab your phone, start doing those videos. Because you do not know, like me, I could have easily turned around and been like, I don't want to shoot videos, this is not, whatever the case may be. And look where it's gotten us. You
don't know where it will take you. And that's the biggest thing. It's taking that leap of faith and just letting the universe work its magic.
Yeah, you don't know where it's going to take you. And fast forward to, because of dog breeding, it allowed me to quit my 9-to-5 job that I hated, I was miserable at, and I get to do what I love every single day. To me, that's priceless. So guys, I know if I can do it, you guys can definitely do it without question, whatever it is. And honestly, like, just even a little bit of background information for Breeders' Hacks and what I do and why I do it. That was one part. The second part was, maybe I'll leave this for another episode, I don't know, but I'll just share quickly with you guys what happened.
Drop in the comments if you want this part two.
Yeah, drop a comment down below if you want to, like, you know, want me to get further in depth on this particular thing. But there's two reasons why I do Breeders' Hacks. That was the first one. The second one was because of the fact that I had another mentor. I had two mentors, right? One mentor was dog breeding. The other mentor, he was just very adamant about. Another was very big on entrepreneurship and personal finance and so on and so forth. And
unfortunately, he's no longer here with us.
Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away. And he was very big on, he would always tell me, you got to do a business is where it's at. You know, get into business. And that personally really, like, inspired me. And we were supposed to do business together, but it was for teeth. It was for a dental lab. That's what his expertise was. And he had sold dental labs for like millions of dollars. And unfortunately, before he could get here, and we could do the dental lab together, he passed away. This was a little after my son was born, right? A little after my son was born, he passed away. So,
like 6 months out.
Yeah. So all my eggs were in that basket of, like, I'm gonna get out of my 9-to-5 job, I'm gonna do a dental lab, I'm gonna make tons of money, and we'll be chilling. That was my mindset at the time. Well, when he passed away, I read a few books, right? It was like 3 books. I think it was like Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
The Laws of Success.
The Laws of Success, and like The Instant Millionaire, I think. And like something just clicked, and I said, you know what? Like, to get myself out of this 9-to-5 job that I hate, what I'm gonna do what I love, which is dog breeding. And I'll find a way to make enough money that I can sustain my mortgage, my house, my everything, and live off of doing that. Surprisingly, it worked out. So, but the key thing is, like I tell all you guys, it wasn't just puppies. There was multiple streams of income. There's no secret behind it. I tell you guys openly, multiple streams of income. So not just puppies, stud fees. Not just stud fees. I started doing professional pictures for other dogs as well, and other stud owners and stuff. Just all kinds of stuff like that. And it just snowballed into what I do today, which is, you know, the YouTube and having the online store and stuff like that. So that's what kind of kicked off Breeders' Hacks. Is when he passed away, in my mind, I said, you know what? Like, I got to do something because I know I can't stay at this 9 to 5 forever. And with my son being born, I was like, especially in my mind, I was like, I want him, and this is probably the biggest thing out of everything, right? One of the biggest deciding factors out of everything was like, I want him, and I think I told you this, is like, I wanted to be able to do something that showed an example to my son that you can be anything you put your mind to. All you have to do is be willing to work hard enough for it. Literally, no exaggeration. That's all I told myself. I want my son to be able to look at his father and say, you know what? He did what he loved, and he lived life on his terms. You know, not having to, and there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. Do not get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But the job that I was at was just very, it just was not for me.
It wasn't fulfilling.
And, yeah, it wasn't fulfilling, and I knew what my passion was, and I knew what I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? If I can set an example and do this, then the bar will be set high enough that when my son starts to be conscious of these things, he's gonna want to write his own destiny and, you know, do whatever it is that he finds fulfilling in life. It may be working a 9 to 5 job, but at least he knows anything's possible. That was it. Breeders' Hacks was all about helping my mentor out, right? You know, putting him in a position that when he gets out, he's set. Doing something that got me out of my 9 to 5 because my mentor that I was going to do something with passed away. And it's so funny because he didn't think that the dog thing could really take off, and it did. And the most important one being my son. Him being able to look back, him being able to look at these videos and saying, wow, like my father lived life on his terms. Like, he was able to quit his 9 to 5 job and do anything, whatever he put his mind to. And his mind was dog breeding. So my expectation for my son is you can be anything. And this goes to all you guys. You guys can be anything you put your mind to. Because I had so many people throughout our journey saying, oh, you're living in a trailer, you're living like 8 Mile, oh, you're gonna breed dogs for a living, there's no money in that, you're gonna do this or that or whatever the case may be. We had doubters all throughout the journey, and we made it here now to live and tell the tale and are successful with what we do, and we're happy with what we do, and we enjoy what we do. So
do what you love and love what you do. That's the biggest thing.
I know it sounds so cliche, but it's true. So anyway, guys, that's kind of how like Breeders' Hacks started. That's really kind of the story.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really think of anything else. It just kind of took off from there, and maybe we'll do more episodes talking about the journey with Breeders' Hacks, because that's just the beginning. We're already years into it now, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, as always, I guess I hope even this little talk, this little pep talk, right? Because I know sometimes dog breeding can be rough, it can be tough, it can be hard sometimes. It's not easy. Nothing in life is going to always be easy. But
listen, if you love it, stay true to it.
Yeah, stay true to it.
That's the biggest thing, because you'll have naysayers.
Yep.
But let that motivate you.
And who cares if they don't believe in you?
But that's okay. Let that motivate you.
We believe in you.
That's right. You know what? Send us a message.
We believe in you guys.
Comment down below. I'm gonna respond to you.
I believe in you guys. Anyway, guys, so we now need to head. We're not too far from picking up our son, so we're gonna go pick him up real quick because my sister's watching him.
But do what you love.
Yep.
And it will flourish.
Yep. So we're gonna go pick up, like I said, our son now. Gotta do some more. I think I got some more tests to do on some of the dogs. I know we got some puppies on the way. So just stay tuned. All right, guys. Hope this information was helpful as always. Hope it was useful. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Breeders Hacks.
Adios.